this is just a quick video on how to make some pickled chilies. It's nothing particularly special, fairly cheap and fairly quick. So the reason I'm making this is I found these chilies basically in Asda the other day, reduced 19p, 19p and 19p. So what we're going to do is make these last a little bit longer by using one of the oldest methods of preserving, which is pickling. To start off with, all we really need to do is slice these up into nice little rounds. Nothing too thick or really too thin. So, okay, now we've got all the chilies chopped up. Time now to make the pickling juice. For that, I'm using cider vinegar. You can use white wine vinegar, pickling vinegar, but I found that cider vinegar is a slightly milder flavour that doesn't take too much away from the bite of the chilies. To that, we're going to add a little bit of sugar, like a teaspoon for the whole thing. That just counteracts some of the acidity whilst retaining the bite. And then we're adding some other flavours. So salt further preserves it, adds saltiness to the recipe. Whole peppercorns. You want whole peppercorns, not cracked, not powder. Whole peppercorns to add a bit more spice. I'm adding bay leaves, oregano, 3 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to use the zest and juice of 1 lime. It has to be on wax. You don't want wax in your recipe. Okay, now we've got all that sorted, it is time to make the pickling solution. So into a saucepan, I'm going to put about 250ml of the cider vinegar, a couple 100ml just a bog standard tap water, the lime juice, the lime zest, which I just used this little IKEA grater, the thin one, because I don't have a grater, a zester. Got the word for it then, despite the fact I'm holding it. But you can just use that, use the fine side of a grater. If that's all you've got, nothing stopping you. Right, so then we need a handful of peppercorns. Well, a few peppercorns, not a handful, it would be overpowering. Just the one, yeah, it's too small, decently sized bay leaf, same one again. Throw that in. Sprinkle of the oregano. Pinch of salt. And again, just a pinch of sugar. Okay, so what you need to do now, just warm that up for 5 minutes so it starts to boil gently, or simmer more correctly, and then we move on to the next step. Okay, so we've now brought the pickling juice to a gentle simmer. So what we're going to do is add the peppers straight in. And the garlic, which I've just chopped up into little cross sections. Now you'll need to leave that for a few more minutes, and it'll be time to jar it, or can it in technical terms. Okay, so it's now been about 5 minutes, and what I've got now is my sterilised jar. This is just a Kilner jar. You can use any repurposed jar that previously held pickles, and sterilise. There's multiple methods. You can put them in the oven for 80 degrees at 10 minutes after I've given them a wash. You can bring them straight out of a dishwasher, or what I do is I use beer sterilising equipment, as I make my own beers and wines. I suppose you could also use baby sterilising equipment, by which I mean the stuff that you use to sterilise babies' bottles, not actually sterilising babies, if that's not right. Okay, so now we're done. What we need to do, oh, I should say, before actually putting the stuff in, this has to be heated, otherwise you're going to have a problem where it may explode due to the heat difference. So yeah, water bath, roughly 80 degrees, if you can get that, and inside and out. Just empty the water out when it's time to can. So what we start off with, very, very gently, just spoon all the peppers, garlic, and the other bits in. Try and get this as packed full as possible to reduce the amount of air that's going to be in there. However, if you are left with any air at the very end, you can always make up a little bit more of the vinegar solution. Don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. I have a little canning funnel, so if you have a funnel like this, it makes life a lot easier. So pour. Got a little bit of space left for a few more of the peppers, so let's get those in. So that. And what I can tell, is all the peppers and garlic. So I have a little bit left over in the pickling juice. Looking at it, top it up a tiny bit more, because you want as little air in there as possible, because air will allow anything that you don't want in there, any bacteria, to multiply and ruin your pickle. And the point of pickling, obviously, is to preserve. That will undo that. So, once it's full, in this case, I'm just closing the lid, snapping it down. There you have jar, pickled chilies. Let it go cold on its own, don't put it in the fridge. Just leave it to stand, and that should last officially indefinitely. Probably wouldn't risk it for more than a year. Once you open it, put it in the fridge and eat it within a few weeks. It'll go great on tacos, other Mexican food, sprinkled on top of a pizza before you cook it, or anything that you feel just needs a little kick of spice. I personally like them on a kebab. So, thanks for watching. Put in the comments if you've got any suggestions, what you like, what you don't like. I'm new to this, so yeah, thanks for watching.